Faith, hope, and charity are the theological virtues infused by God which allow us to relate directly to God. The Year of Faith calls Catholics to study and reflect on the Catechism of the Catholic Church so that we may deepen our knowledge of our faith and put into action. The teachings of the Church show us that faith, hope, and charity are genuine powers bestowed by God, which we can develop with the grace of God so as to obtain the fullness of life. Each year, the Diocese of Brooklyn calls upon the community of faith to contribute to the annual Catholic Appeal. Renewing our faith through acts of charity is this year's theme. It comes with the hope that your generosity and charity will continue to allow many to flourish throughout our diocese. Your support is vital to ensure that our ministries continue to serve those in need here in Brooklyn and Queens. These witnesses are true testimonies to your kindness to the annual Catholic Appeal.
We call our school the best little school in the heart of Astoria because we're a small school, but we're happy with the size we have. We feel we could give children a lot of individual attention. We have a wonderful community here, supportive parents, great kids, and I have a strong faculty. It's a way to evangelize also through the children, get their parents to come back to church. That's what's so wonderful about a Catholic education, that we can reach not only their minds, but their hearts and their souls.
My son Elijah is 5 and he's in kindergarten now. But he came when he was 3. He started in nursery and then pre-kindergarten here. He loves the school. We all do. I always wanted Elijah to come, but it was difficult to afford. Because of the donations through the scholarship fund, we're able to send him here.
Every year, we have families who want to have their children have a Catholic education, and they'll say to me, I can't afford the tuition. We never turn anyone away.
It means a lot to us. We wouldn't be able to send them otherwise. You know, between the cost of living now, it's very difficult to keep small children in Catholic school, but through these donations, we're able to do this, thank God.
We need their help to ensure that the Catholic schools remain open. Through their generosity, the tuition will be paid.
In the Year of Faith, I would ask them to look into their hearts, and if they can, if they're able to.
This one has such a return on investment. Our children all graduate and go to wonderful high schools, and many of them go on to college. It's great when they come back to visit to let us know how their lives have turned around because they've attended a Catholic school. I would just ask them to continue to be as generous as they've always been, and maybe a little bit more.
Each year, there is an increase in the population of retired priests in the Diocese of Brooklyn. Currently at the Bishop McGovern residence in Douglaston, there are 36 senior priests in residence. They're in varying need, some that need some assistance, some that need a lot of assistance.
There are numbers of men coming into the priesthood now at an older age, and so that their service to the active ministry is not going to be as long as perhaps mine was. I think they're going to be very well populated in the future, and the generosity of the people is the generosity that will make that a possibility for us. We need wheelchairs and or scooters to get around, things of that nature. Our diocese has been very generous. We have a number of medical aids here in the house. To know that it'll be here for me, I think is a great consolation. I want to thank the people for the tremendous generosity that they have given.
If you're so inclined as to want them to have a decent quality of life, unfortunately that costs money. I encourage people of the Diocese of Brooklyn to be as generous as they possibly can, because these men are the finest men that ever served the church.
The young adult groups that we have in Brooklyn and Queens are very active. They do a lot of social activities as far as getting together, not just evenings of prayer, but also evenings just to be together. And I think that's very important if they're going to connect their faith life with their everyday life, to meet Christ and other people. And giving them those opportunities allows them to broaden their spiritual horizons. The youth and the young adults are members of our church now, but that they will be the adult leadership of the church of tomorrow. It's important for them to be charitable today so that they can support the needs of the church for tomorrow. With the funding that we receive from the annual Catholic Appeal, we are able to have programs and events for the youth and the young adults. This then defers the costs for those youth and young adults that wouldn't be able to afford on their own to go to a retreat, a day of recollection, a youth conference, any of these activities.
After the storm, it was very difficult here in the peninsula, in Far Rockaway. There was no electricity, you would hardly see people walking around. And then after people came out of their homes, they were desperate looking for food, looking for water.
The annual Catholic Appeal invites us to put our faith into action. We never really know, none of us ever really know when we, in an instant, might need the generosity of others, might need that literally to survive. If we're willing to receive with open and grateful hearts, we should be willing to give with generous and open hearts.
We need money to pay electricity. We need money to keep the buildings warm. We need money to repair leaks and other damages, and especially those areas that were damaged by the storm. We need money also to provide some social services in our community.
14 or so other parishes in the diocese have suffered a tremendous blow, a trauma, you might say, and the faith of the people in our parish have sustained one another.
I was touched by the generosity of parishioners who dedicated so many hours distributing food supplies to our affected brothers and sisters.
The generous service that we provide one another is key to our rebuilding. So the work of Catholic Charities, the work of other ministries that we've been the beneficiaries are examples of the gift of faith, the year of faith in action.
My brothers and sisters, I encourage you to be more generous this coming year. Bishop DeMarsh is able to do a lot of great things in the diocese because of your generosity.
Catholic Charities is really a very visible sign in our diocese of the Church's commitment to the poor and the disenfranchised, those people who are in need. It manifests itself in so many different ways on a parish level in terms of soup kitchens and food pantries, bereavement ministries, reaching out to the elderly parishioners in so many different ways. Catholic Charities exists to support all of that on a parish level, but also to do things that a parish is not equipped to do, or it's just not the mission of the parish. I don't think anything really prepared us for the devastation of Sandy. Catholic Charities as an agency has sent people to New Orleans, to many parts of this country when people face disaster. And this is the first time, I think, that we were in a situation where we needed help. And we really need the support that is provided us through the annual appeal.
The future of the Diocese of Brooklyn is best served by funding the education and the training of her priests, because it is her priests that will be there with the people to administer the sacraments, to preach the word in season, out of season, and most importantly, exercise Christian charity.
You know, we feel like all these people who donate to the annual appeal are like our mothers and fathers. Now, they're taking care of their children. That's a sign of charity for me. The fact that these people who don't even know me, but yet understand that sense of be that Christ figure, to be their priest.
I feel very much indebted to the people of the Diocese of Brooklyn and Queens that their monies help fund my education, so one day, God willing, that I could best serve them with the best theological education that one could receive here at St. Joseph Dunwoody. Continue funding the seminary through the annual Catholic Appeal is also funding the future of our diocese in the sense that we can ensure the faith is transmitted from one generation to the next.
Catholic Migration Services provides both legal services and pastoral services to immigrants in Brooklyn and Queens. We are, in many ways, our mission is to welcome and to assist our brothers and sisters that enter Brooklyn and Queens. Both our offices are there to really assist the immigrants in both those boroughs. We provide legal services, basic immigration answering questions, our housing advocacy, as well as our workers' rights, to make sure that all immigrants and all workers are treated fairly and with that human dignity. Every single donation helps us to carry out our mission. We're basically funded by the Diocese of Brooklyn, for we are the agency of the Diocese of Brooklyn to welcome and to assist our immigrant brothers and sisters, to allow us to live out the gospel message as found in the 25th chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel. When did you welcome me? And so through your generosity, we are able to carry out our mission, to live our faith with our words, but also through these acts of charity.
As you just saw, these testimonies are in direct response to those who answer the call. Through the generosity of others, such as yourself, these real people in need were able to seek help and find assistance. How can you answer the call for help? Your support and contribution to the annual Catholic Appeal is essential, so that the diocese and its agencies are able to continue to provide the necessary services so needed throughout Brooklyn and Queens. Please consider exercising the virtue of charity by the grace of God and donate to this year's annual Catholic Appeal. Through the grace of God, you too can obtain the fullness of life. May the Lord extend His choicest blessings upon you for your acts of charity to your brothers and sisters in Christ.